nowhere to go. You're surrounded.
Oh, I've got plenty of places to go. See you later, Lieutenant.
His name is Gold Zero.
What's going on, Godzilla Nation? This is our Godzilla back with more heavy rain. Thank you for joining me as always. Ethan and Madison just finished doing the Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, if you know what I'm saying. We need to go freshen up. Wash our hands clean of the sins that we just committed. While Ethan does that, I want to thank everybody for supporting this series so far. It has been one hell of a roller coaster, and I appreciate all the support. If you have been enjoying this, guys, be sure to continue to hit that like button. If you're returning to the channel and catching another episode, you guys know exactly what to expect. If you're new to the channel, sit back, relax, enjoy the smooth stylings of our Godzilla. And if you happen to enjoy what I'm throwing down, you can hit that subscribe button and pledge your allegiance to the Godzilla Nation. Have a good hard look at yourself, Ethan. You just did the bippity-boppity-boo with Madison Page, my man.
Only one more origami figure. Then I find my son.
Let's put our clothes back on and get the hell out of here. One more trial stands between us and getting the proper location of Sean's whereabouts. Nothing up until this point has stopped Ethan from doing what he needs to do. He's taken on traffic head-on. He's removed a portion of his own finger. He has killed a man. From the beginning, I set out to make sure Ethan does whatever it takes to ensure his son's survival. And we're going to do that. But right now, Ethan's about to discover something we discovered in the previous episode. Speaking of, if you have missed any episodes along the way, there is a link for the Heavy Rain playlist in the description down below. But we found out Madison Page is a journalist, and as you can see here, she has been following Ethan for a very long time. Fancy finding all this out after you've done the vertical shake and bake in a more horizontal kind of way.
I should have guessed. All this time and I had no idea.
Ethan, what's the matter?
You know what the matter is, bitch.
I thought I meant something to you.
Listen,
You're a pretty good nurse for a fucking journalist!
Ethan, I wanted to tell you, but...
What kind of article were you gonna write? My life with a serial killer? No. How I caught the Origami Killer. Maybe you'll get a book deal. I hope it was fucking worth it!
Ethan, it's not what you think.
Don't touch me, woman.
You lied to me, Madison! All this time you fucking lied to me! I thought you wanted to help me, but you're only thinking of writing a fucking book!
You bitch. I trusted you.
It's true.
I put my penis in you.
Journalist. And I knew that you were the father of the boy who had disappeared, and I wanted to cover the story. But then I saw what you were going through to save your son. And I understood how much you love him. I wanted to tell you the truth, but I couldn't. I was afraid that you may not believe me. I was afraid that you'd ask me to go.
I'm glad you stayed.
All I want is for you to find your son alive. And when it's all over, I want to be with you.
I mean, I could go for another round of putting my pen in your bajimbus. That's for damn sure. Let's forgive her.
I'm sorry, Ethan. I'm so sorry.
You gotta think, Ethan was tossed aside by his ex-wife for no reason. He's hurting just as much as she is. Ethan deserves love too.
You're leaving, aren't you?
It's the last origami figure. The last letters, then I'll know where Sean is.
Take care, Ethan. I can't lose you now.
However, leaving this place is going to be a little bit harder than you think. You're about to find that out for yourselves firsthand.
Wait for me. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Alright, let's go get something to eat. What's about to go down, though, will make or break Ethan's part of this story. I'll explain more once you find out what's about to go down. You can kind of see it off to the right there.
I think I'm starting to fall in love.
They're here.
Cops. They're looking for Ethan. It looks like a raid.
Now, what I mean by make or break is obviously if Ethan gets arrested here, he's going to get put in prison and he's not going to be able to save Sean. So we have to make sure we do everything by the book.
Number?
07?
Come on. Pick up the phone.
Answer the phone, Ethan.
The cops. They're in the motel. You've got to get out of here.
Move your ass, Ethan. We've got a boy to save. I've been caught in this segment many times before, but not today. Not this time. Going to the right. And we're going up. We're taking this to the rooftops, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't move!
Play a bit of hopscotch. No, you don't. There's a lot of similarities between this and the flashback sequence we had playing as that kid who lost his brother John. I don't know whether that's a deliberate act.
Please, stop!
You're not going to catch me! Get up, Ethan! Dead end.
It's over. On your knees, hands behind your head. Easy, pal. Nowhere to go. You're surrounded.
Oh, I've got plenty of places to go. See you later, Lieutenant.
Holy fuck!
I told you guys, nothing is going to stop Ethan from saving Sean. Taxi! Get out of the car! I need to commandeer this vehicle.
Hey, what's the matter with you? Whoa!
And we're out of here. Better luck next time, Lieutenant. It's a good fleet of police officers you have there. Thwarted by a mere man. And now we're back at it again as Scott Shelby.
Lauren?
I'm sorry, Scott.
You should have listened to me, Mr. Shelby. I told you to drop the investigation.
You son of a
Your son
bitch.
is a serial killer. How many people does he have to kill before you turn him in?
Gordy has his faults, but he's still my son. You have no children, Mr. Shelby. You can't possibly understand. You leave me no choice. Your investigation is over. For good.
Uh-oh. Oh, we're swimming with the fishes, see?
Lauren! Shit!
Now this right here can go a number of different ways. Scott and Lauren can both die. Scott can escape and choose to leave Lauren behind and just save himself, and then Lauren dies. Or Scott can escape and take Lauren with him. All of which, obviously, are going to drastically change the fabric of how this game finishes. But, we're going to take Lauren with us. I can't have the death of a woman on my conscience. If we have the ability to save somebody in this playthrough, we're going to do it. Because we're doing the opposite of what you bloodthirsty bastards want to see all the time. Lauren, wake up.
Lauren, wake up! Lauren!
Let's get her free for starters. Wake up! Okay, Scott, you better hurry up. We're running out of time. Kicking out the window is probably the best bet. Alright, let's get out of here. Tried to take us out of commission, huh? Not today, you old fuck.
I was gonna take up swimming again. This isn't exactly what I had in mind. You got a car back at your place? Mine's obviously pretty fucked up.
Yeah, sure. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go settle a few scores. Come on, I'll take you home. Lock your doors and windows and don't let anybody in but me. Okay?
Be careful, Scott. I don't want to lose you.
Everybody's falling in love. Isn't it sweet, ladies and gentlemen? Scott's gonna get his revenge alright, don't you worry about that. For someone who almost just died, you'd think he'd want to take a little bit of a breather and maybe get a little bit of perspective in life, but not Scott. He's a vengeful motherfucker. Let's do it! Knock knock, anybody home? Scott ain't playing. We're about to go full Terminator mode right here. you ready? Scott's about to run himself a bath and he's going to be bathing in blood. I told you, he ain't playing. Scotty's home. Let's go, you old bastard.
Stay back! Don't come near me, or I'll shoot!
Fucking asshole.
Try to kill me, huh?
Please.
Your idiot son killed all those kids, didn't he? He's the Origami Killer.
No, he's innocent. He's not a killer. Not a killer.
Why are you protecting him then, huh? You piece of shit.
You're a fucking liar. Now tell me the truth.
No, please, don't hurt me.
Last chance.
I don't know. I swear, I don't know anything.
You're testing my patience, old man.
Stop. I beg you. I'll tell you everything.
Gordy always wanted his fun, you know. He wanted to be like the Origami Killer. He kidnapped that kid and he held him under the water for a little too long. It was an accident. An unfortunate accident. He just wanted to play. He told me everything. He was crying. He was so sorry for what had happened. Whatever he did, Gordy is my son.
Well, we can strike him off of our list of
What?
candidates.
That boy, Gordy killed. No one will miss him. Just street trash, like so many others.
You disgusting pile of shit. What about John Shepard? Why did you put flowers on his grave?
I own the construction site where he died. I never forgot. I've been putting flowers on his grave for 30 years.
Looks like that's the only decent thing you've
John
done
had a
with your
twin brother.
life.
What happened to him?
I don't know. He was adopted, I think. His mother should know. Her name is Anne. Anne Shepard.
My heart! My heart! Quickly! I need my pills. In that drawer. There.
You need your pills, do you? Oh, that's a shame. No, I'm out of here. Sayonara.
Shelby! Come back! I fucking order you! Come back!
Order someone to go get those pills for you, you fuck. Scott Shelby. What a beast. I think he might be part android after watching that. Speaking of Anne Shepard, Madison Page has been doing some digging around and she's managed to find the hospital that Anne is in.
Hello, I'm looking for Anne Shepard's room.
Please sign the visitor's book.
No worries.
Are you a member of the family?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, you could say that.
Oh, she'll be pleased to have a visitor. No one ever comes to see her. With the Alzheimer's, she has trouble remembering things, but it'll still please her. You know. It's room 19 at the end of the corridor.
Thank you.
Thank you, nurse.
Room 19. Where is that?
We've got some nice little orchids here. Coincidence? I think not.
Only a few hours left before Sean Mars dies. Hope I'm not wasting my time. Room 19. Where is that?
Where is room 19? Is that it there?
John Shepard died 30 years ago. Hope his mother has all the answers to this puzzle.
Yeah, well, that's if we even make it to talk to his goddamn mother. Where's room... Nurse, where's room 19? Is there a room here? Oh boy, that's embarrassing. I found room 19.
Hello, Mrs. Shepard.
Is it time for my pills already?
No, Mrs. Shepard,
They're never on time with my pills. I don't know what they do here. In the other hospital, they were always on time. But here...
Look, Mrs. Shepard, I don't care about your pills.
My name is Madison Page. I'm a journalist. I'd like to ask you some questions about your son.
I don't like this hospital. The food isn't very good, you know.
Looks like it's going to take a bit of prying.
You had a son named John, and John had a twin brother.
Do you have my pills? It's time for my pills.
Enough of the pills, I don't have pills!
I know what happened at Carnaby Square. Do you remember?
Carnaby Square. I think I used to live there a long time ago. We didn't have much money at the time, you know. We had to make do with very little.
Mrs.
Just gonna
Shepard,
ask everything we
your son may
can.
be linked to a series of murders. Perhaps you have some information that could help the investigation.
Are you a new nurse? Where are my pills?
Enough with the goddamn pills, woman!
I think your son is in trouble, Mrs. Shepard. He's done some terrible things. I need to find him. Do you understand?
Terrible things you're telling me. He never came to see me, can you believe it? In 10 years, never. No one forgets their mother, do they?
Your other son, Mrs. Shepard, John's twin brother. What was his name?
What other son? I have no other son. I never had any children.
This is going to be like
Do you
walking in
remember
circles.
John?
My Johnny. He is a good little boy, you know.
Try to remember, Mrs. Shepard. John's twin brother was placed with a foster family after the accident. What was the name of the foster family?
I asked them for a television, you know. They said I didn't have enough money. It's a pity. I'm fond of television.
You know, they told me she has Alzheimer's. They didn't tell me she was goddamn deaf. I didn't ask about a television.
It'd take days, if not longer, to find the name of the family that adopted her son. Sean Mars would be dead by then.
Okay, let's try this again.
Did you make these origami figures?
My little paper animals. They played with them for hours. I showed my boys how to make them, you know.
Yes, your boys, Mrs. Shepard. John and... what was your other son's name again?
My other son? I only had one son. My little Johnny.
You just said boys! Alzheimer's is infuriating. Alright, there's a particular one we're going to make. We've seen it a few times. We're going to make the dog. Ethan keeps waking up with a dog figure in his hand. We saw the dog on the gravestone of John Shepard. Get to folding, Madison. You folded with Ethan pretty well in the last episode, if you know what I'm saying.
My children loved origami. I taught them how to do it. John loved the little dogs. He always wanted to call them Max. Max, Max, Max? All dogs with the same name. I was wasting my time telling him they couldn't all have the same name. But he always wanted his paper dogs Max. It's funny, isn't it?
No, not really. I don't find that amusing in the slightest, you old lady.
It seems to be working. She's remembering stuff. Gotta find something else to show her.
Don't mind me, I'm going to go through your drawers. Oh, here we go.
Are these your children, Mrs. Shepard? John and his brother? Is that them?
They're good little boys. Their father never looked after them. Always drinking. They didn't have an easy life, you know.
Yeah, that's nice, but what's the boy's name? Oh, there's an empty vase there, and I know there's some orchids in the hallway. Let's go see if we can borrow some of those orchids, huh? Freshen up the room a little bit.
Does Mrs. Shepard ever talk about her past?
It's not all very clear to her now. Sometimes she'll remember the oddest things, though. I suppose if she sees something that reminds her of her past.
Did she ever mention her sons?
Sons? Well, she often mentions John. I think he drowned.
He definitely
Did she ever
did.
talk about her other son?
I didn't know she had another one. I've never heard her mention it.
Fancy that, huh?
I'm looking for her other son. He was adopted. I mean, he's probably changed his name. Is there any official documentation on Mrs. Shepard?
No, there's nothing really. Nothing about her family. I guess if her son was adopted, then she's the only one who could tell you about that. Sometimes, if you show her things, it seems to trigger a memory from her past. You might get it to remember.
Thanks for the advice.
Well, the only thing we haven't used yet are the flowers. We've tried everything else. Look guys, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I know who the Origami Killer is. I've played this game many times before. I'm just trying to make the experience all the better for you guys watching at home. I actually do hope the reveal shocks you guys as much as it did me the first time.
What a lovely orchid. My sons loved orchids. We used to grow them in the back. When John died, I laid orchids on his grave. I cried when they told me. I'd already lost one of my children, and now they were taking away another one, you understand.
The foster family, Mrs. Shepard. What was the name of the foster family that adopted John's brother?
They were really very nice people. I met them, you know. In the beginning, I used to go and see my little boy. And then I got sick and I couldn't go any longer. Perhaps he thought I'd forgotten him. He must have thought I didn't love him anymore.
His name, Mrs. Shepard. What was his name?
But I loved him. If you only knew how much I missed him.
Please, Anne. His name. What was his name?
Stop beating around the bush, you old bitch.
Come closer.
She's obviously not going to say it out loud. That would ruin the reveal. However, Madison just found out who it is. She doesn't seem to be too happy about it either. The plot thickens. And now we're back as Ethan Mars. The last letters. One final trial stands between Ethan and being able to save Sean. And you're going to have to wait till the next episode to find out what this trial is all about, ladies and gentlemen, because that is where we are going to wrap up this episode. Thank you for joining me, as always. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you have been enjoying this so far, go ahead and continue to hit that like button. It goes a long way to supporting myself, and I cannot thank you guys enough for all that support. If you happen to be new to the channel, there is plenty of other content to check out. I urge you to do so. And if you happen to enjoy what I'm throwing down, hit that subscribe button and pledge your allegiance to the Godzilla Nation today. And while you're at it, that little notification bell right next door, hit that so each and every time something brand new hits the channel, you guys get a sweet little notification to tell you guys what's what. If you've missed any episodes along this adventure, there is a link to the Heavy Rain playlist in the description down below. Feel free to go check that out in your own time, as well as being surrounded by links to my social media accounts. If you don't follow me on things like Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram yet, you can find those links in the description down below as well. Feel free to go do so. It'd be hugely appreciated. But that's it from me, guys. I'm out of here, and as always, I will catch you guys next time.